everyone, it's Carolyn here to share another message. This time I'm going to talk about December energies. I was going to do a channel on this, but they said, nope, just sit down and talk because you already know what you need to talk about and we're going to just jump in as you speak. So I, as you know, don't do a lot of energy updates, but I do them when I'm led to do them. And I have been through some profound things over the last couple of months. And I know that December, from everything I have been told, is going to be incredibly powerful with respect to energetics. And as we know, energetics shift and change us. And I'm going to talk about that today because I want you to understand what I am receiving that helps us understand what December is going to be like for us so that we can at least have knowledge to move us through what is, I'm being told, a very important month as we move into the new year 2020. So with that today, thank you everybody for joining me. Those of you who are new, I have a welcome video below and I thank you for joining me. The welcome video actually allows you to get onto my email list, but what it first does is give you a free gift video on how to create flow in your body for health and wellness, because during the awakening and the ascension journey, flow is so important to our body. So it gives you 6 tips. So check it out. And then what you'll get after that are a couple emails a week, one which is a channeled message each week for the following week. So I hope you'll join me. Thank you so much for being here. I am Carolyn Zaiser. I'm a channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor, usually doing channeled messages from the light keepers and then my take on the channels. And sometimes I come in and I just start talking about information they want me to share rather than including a channeled message. And that's what I'm going to do today. So today I want to speak to a bit of my experiences recently, but also what I know is going to occur for me in December and what they have said is going to occur for the collective. And this also has to do a lot with, and I've talked about this previously a couple months ago, the first wavers, those of us who are out in front. So first what I want to do is I want to talk about some of the things that you're going to likely notice in December. And this is all a result of moving into 2020, this highly energetic event. Now, remember, time is all relative or doesn't exist, some will say, right? But what we've done is anything we put energy to as an individual or as a collective in particular, adds weight to it energetically. So the new year is very important worldwide. So we've put a lot of energy into this. And this is why also December is also much more energetic. There's good purpose in this happening so that we can move into 2020 to experience the things that will be coming our way. So this isn't a 2020 video, but it will speak to some of this because of what is happening now is preparing us for 2020. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to list out some of the changes and shifts that you're going to see. Now, some of these aren't new, they're just different. And I want you to be aware of them because knowledge is power. And then you're able to get through the difficult times better. And remember, our higher self, the universe, doesn't care that it's a holiday season for a lot of us, right? And that we're busy doing all these things that we wouldn't normally do with family. Doesn't matter. You're still going to be going through this, okay? So those are just human created things. And there's a lot of energy around them, but at the same time, you'll still likely be going through the things that I'm going to talk about. So first of all, waves of energy coming into the planet over and over again, multiple times. And what we're going to see is they are going to be stronger. And what we're going to see is they're going to be stronger as they come in. And okay, now they're showing me, okay, they're saying rolling waves. Okay, this is what I thought they wanted to do, is channel through me as I talked. So this is what you're going to get. Oh, and I have chills. Okay, so chills is a confirmation and an exclamation mark behind what they just said and what I just said. Rolling waves of energy coming through to the planet, which affect us. So we're going to have rolling waves of energy moving through us, not just a blast of energy at a, mediocre amount, rolling waves over and over again. And they're going to be stronger than normal as we move into 2020. It's like, okay, now what they're showing me is they're pushing us out of they just said the cradle, pushing us out of the cradle. So this is this last boost. Well, I don't want to say last, but for this year, last big boost, this boost to get us moving. Like they said, out of the cradle. I have chills on that as well. So know that. And I'm going to talk about what this means and what you can expect to feel potentially, and to not get concerned about this, because the whole point of this video is so that you have knowledge so that you don't move into fear. Okay? Because sometimes you can move into fear. These are different ways of feeling that a lot of us have never been used to. And I'll talk about that a bit too. All right. So we talked about waves of energy. They're going to be more frequent. They're going to be stronger. Upgrades and adjustments are coming as well. So know that we have our rolling waves of energy coming into the planet, but at the same time, we're also getting our own individual upgrades, our own individual adjustments. And then with that, we're also clearing past lives. Now, a lot of people don't even know what past lives they're clearing, but there's some traumatic things that can actually happen when past lives are clearing, which I will talk about in a bit. I already just did a video on that though, so what I would definitely do is go back to my video on clearing past lives, and that'll explain more. But know that that's happening too. So December is all about, okay, let's get this stuff cleared out. Let's get these upgrades. Let's get these adjustments. Doesn't mean they're ending. It means there's a big push out of the cradle, like they said. So no, so far we've got big waves of energy coming in, more frequent, stronger, your upgrades and your adjustments, which are different but the same. An upgrade helps move you up vibrationally. It opens up your gifts more fully. You may start, some really good examples of that are being able to start sensing more with your intuitive gifts. You may start seeing things you hadn't seen before, either in your mind's eye or externally, feeling energies, all this. You know what I'm talking about there. Then we have the solstice. This is huge. And what I am really picking up is that this is an event that, yes, it changes, the length of our days, either longer or shorter, depending on what hemisphere we're in. But there is, okay, they just said highly significant. Okay, and they're talking about compared to recent solstices because of the era we're entering, is what they just said. So we're going to find a lot of energy around that time frame, which for many of us who celebrate the Christmas holiday is going to be around that time. So just know that your body, your mind, you're going to potentially feel these adjustments. I'm going to talk about what you can do about those too. But again, it's all about getting the knowledge so you don't move into fear, because this is all a natural process. It's just not always easy to go through. So the solstice, the 21st, very significant, highly powerful. And of course, this isn't a video about what you can do during the solstice, but the point, which I probably will do one, is that, really leaning in and recognizing these events and participating is also helpful. It helps you use some of that energy that you've got too. You're going to have body adjustments. This is what's starting to happen. We are starting to feel different. Now, it's gradual, but at the same time, some of these things can be lightning fast. And I'll give you an example. Past life adjustments. Again, I just did a video on this that you can hearken back to and listen to. But you may all of a sudden have joints that are just moving like crazy and going, feeling like they're going out of their socket. Now, this is my example. This has happened to me. And it all has to do with past life. But the point is we are adjusting in ways in our body to clear a lot of these past lives that we don't understand. And I have to tell you, a lot of the people that I work with now, they are actually clearing past lives from tremendous bodily issues, tremendous emotional issues. They're clearing like crazy now. And there's a lot of emotion surrounding that. So just know that these are things that are going to occur, body and mind adjustments. Now, during 2019, up until about a month or so ago, what I noticed for myself is these things would come, and within a day or so, or even almost instantaneously, they would clear, and I would be fine. But during the processing of the past life, I was not in a good place, okay? However, what I'm noticing now is there are many of us that are going through longer periods of time. Okay, they just said of difficulty. Physical and emotional difficulty, they just said. Because many of us are at a stage where we're ready for significant leaps forward, okay? Now, what that means is the body's got to go with it. The clearing out has to go with it. Some of us are also not just clearing for ourselves, not just one life, multiple lives, but we're also clearing for the collective. There are many of us who took on other people's stuff, and that's a real thing, and we're clearing for them. Now, you're not going to necessarily be able to identify that. I mean, I know something's happening to me now that has to do with helping clear for the collective, and I have leaned into it now because I have been, not to get into my situation, but just to give an example, for 2 months I've been on an unbelievable journey, but I have been sick for what has been almost 3 weeks. I've been able to maneuver through my days, but it's like galactic. And I've heard other people talk about this, where when you're not feeling well, there's a component that feels human, but you know something else is going on because it's not the same. There's something, and they keep giving me the word galactic, so I'm going to say it, galactic. It's galactic. We are getting adjusted. We are getting upgraded. We are getting shifted, and it's happening faster in December. So many of you now are going through, and you may never know this, but just know that if you start feeling funky in many different ways, which we're going to talk about some of these things here in a second, that very likely you are going through this, and it's not some big health crisis. So that's the thing. Most people going through this aren't going to have a big health crisis, or you're clearing out stuff that you're having health issues with because you've held a past life in for so long. So what we've got here already then in December is an exponential increase of all the things we've been dealing with in 2019 crammed into December. And it's not like it hasn't been happening in 2019. It's just, okay, now what they're showing me, okay, this is kind of funny how they're showing this, but, they said it's less of a lighter grace. Okay, because they talked about this. They talked about the lighter grace in the fall, but then I knew something was shifting and changing for December because it's heavier in the sense of it's compacted. There's a lot going on, okay? There's a lot going on in December. For us as human beings. So again, I go back to the point of this is all information for you to take in to be able to have knowledge, not have fear, and be a partner with it, not just succumb and have a low energy about it, even though we may feel low energy, but to participate in it in whatever way we can, which is what I'm going to share now. So, no, things are ramped up already, and they're going to continue through this month. It's going to be, okay, they just said tough but beautiful. Oh, okay, they just said tough but beautiful as you are prepared for the way. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then they're showing me 2020. Oh, and beyond. Okay, so there's something very significant about our time we are in right now. Okay, so anyway, the things you may notice, and I really want you to take this in, and there may be other things I'm not listing. A lot of these are my experiences in addition to what they have told me to offer to you because I made a list ahead of time. Chakras. You may start to really notice in your chakra areas, specifically, you are having things happen. And I'll give you an example of what's happened to me. I've had a full onslaught of my chakras in the last month. Started up in my sinuses, then went to my throat and my chest, locked me up here. I didn't have a voice. I had all this gunk in my chest, and I started to realize, wow, this is my upper chakras that I'm really clearing out. Now, I don't get sick, okay? I am just not one who gets sick. 2019, I've been sick like 4 times for a week straight. This time, it's now 3 weeks. So I know something's up when someone like me who has rarely been sick in her life is having an onslaught. So I started realizing, okay, these are all chakra locations. And then the last week and a half, it has shifted to my first, second, and third chakra, okay? And it's been a nightmare, and that's where I'll leave you with that. But the point being is we are getting an onslaught of our chakras for certain reasons. They may be tied to past lives. They may be tied to energies. Lots of times we're processing the energies, obviously, through our chakras, but at the same time, we're processing traumas that have happened to us in the past from past lives, okay? This isn't karma I'm talking about. This is past life cellular memory clearing, okay? Karma we're working on all the time. All right, we're working on all the time. So just know that you may feel very off in these areas for a period of time. Now, the other thing is a lot of people are feeling fatigued, but it's more severe. People are taking naps in the daytime when they wouldn't normally do that. They're trying to sleep at night better, and that's even harder because you can also have sleep issues with this. That's the other thing. You're fatigued, but you also have sleep issues. So you're fatigued, all right? That's another thing. And remember, these may even be more severe because we're getting hit harder in December, okay? So you may have been used to feeling fatigued when the energies come in. You may be used to your chakras, but you know what? It's likely to be more severe. Now, the other thing that has started, okay, they're saying more powerfully, and this is because the energies are more powerful. And I noticed this in myself, is nauseous, feeling nauseous. I've never felt nauseous because of the energies. Oh, I have in a week or so ago. And, you know, that's no fun, feeling like you are going to be ill all day long. So those energies are so powerful and strong that you may feel nauseous. Okay, so now there are all kinds of things that you can do to assist yourself in this, and I'll try to talk to a few of those. But the point is by now, a lot of you have already figured out the things that you can do to lean in to assist yourself. I just want to make you aware of what's going to potentially be happening to you in December so that you can then use your remedies for these. And again, you're not going to solve all these symptoms. You're going to be able to lean in and comfort yourself during the process, knowing that it is part of this ascension that we are all going through. Joint pain is huge. It's a big one from day to day. You may get out of bed and go, what's wrong with my hip? Oh my gosh. And you may be super young too and having these weird things happen out of the blue. Don't get hung up on these little pains, especially when it has to do with joints, all right? Just don't. Because you could just take yourself down a rabbit hole, all right? One of the biggest things that is happening right now are joint and kind of bone pains and issues. Sometimes, well, what I'll get is it almost feels like a part, and you know, you can laugh about these things, but it's like, oh my gosh, when they happen, it's like, what the heck just happened to me? I will have actually, and I've talked about this before, bones feel like they've dislocated and then they immediately relocate like where they're supposed to. This has to do oftentimes with past lives. It can also just be pain from the energies that you're feeling within your joints. This will come and go. Don't get hung up about this. You might feel like you're 90 and you're 30, you know, for a while. It all depends. And a lot of this depends, and I'll just say it now, and I talk about this a lot, how you've been taking care of yourself, what kind of habits you've had. Have you cared for your body throughout your lifetime, throughout parts of your lifetime, particularly throughout this awakening journey and ascension? Are you caring for yourself? Because if you keep beating yourself up and not caring for your body or your mind, frankly, your emotional state, you're just going to feel these more severely. So if you haven't started now caring for yourself and getting good, healthy habits going, start now is what I would say. Because it's never too late, and you want to do this. This is part of the journey. This is really part of the journey, starting to see the body as the vessel that you travel in, caring for it, loving it like you would really the whole totality, mind, body, and soul, knowing that's you, okay, in this human form. Sleep issues, we talked about those. Those can be waking up at, you know, crazy hours, 2 or 3, not being able to go back to sleep, or not being able to fall asleep. And that is not something I run into a lot, although I did have a run of a week where it was just incredibly weird, where I would wake up at 3 or 4, and that is so not me. So know that you may have sleep issues, and that can get incredibly annoying, which is also why people are finding themselves wanting to take naps. Now, that's easier said than done. A lot of us have to work outside the home, right? And that becomes tough, or we're in school. So just know you do the best that you can. And you know what? If you need a sick day, take a sick day. Anxiety. Anxiety is probably going to be even more off the charts. And this is important because people have already started to feel, these are people that I work with, but they've already started to feel like they don't know what to do. They are, and then that turns into kind of a frantic thing. Like, what's going on with me? I don't have these feelings or thoughts. What is going on with me? And then they take themselves down the rabbit hole. And you can do that pretty fast. I found myself doing it about 2 weeks ago when I was not understanding fully what was going on with me. And it happens a lot at night. Your anxiety will come at night. I was going down the rabbit hole and I was kind of a mess emotionally, because I was concerned about the physical things that were happening to, well, the kind of more the emotional state I guess I was in at the time. But a lot of it had to do with the physical things I was going through, because I have been, like I said, an onslaught of my chakras. And I understand now what's going on with me. And you may be able to unfold what's going on with you too. But let me tell you, if you don't know at all, it's this stuff, okay? Forget whether you ever know the detail. At least you know. At least you know it's the Ascension, all right? Now, you can go to your doctor if you feel you need to. But I would say to you, most likely, if you have not had these kinds of things happen before, and now all of a sudden, super fast onset, your doctor's going to say to you, there isn't anything wrong. So again, you may have extreme anxiety. And what I would say to you there is lean into it, understand it, bring your spirit team in, ask them to help you with this, thank them with gratitude. Use your tools. That is the most important thing. Don't just sink into the misery of things. It's very easy to do. I lost my connection with my team because I was so focused on myself. And then I realized, wait a minute, I need to engage them to assist me. And they did. I had a couple of very interesting incidents where they made me so tired I had to go take a nap, where I was in and out of sleep for 30 minutes. And I could feel them working on me, okay? I could literally feel them working on me. And I continually have started to get better since then. So there are all kinds of things that we can do. I'm not going to go into all of that today, but because I have given you a lot of that in past videos. But know that you can work your own chakras. Know that you can get out and use some of that energy that's being downloaded into you, that you're being impacted by. I do it by exercise. It's huge for me. I have to exercise to expel that energy, because when we house that energy, that's when a lot of this stuff starts, right? And can happen to us because we're holding in that energy. So finding ways to expel it. Epsom salt baths. Take care of yourself. Be gentle to yourself. Eat well. Drink lots of water. Cry if you need to cry. Just lay down and cry over this, because this can be hard. There's good reason why in Dolores Cannon's book, I don't even remember which one it was, one of the higher selves she spoke to said something to the effect, those who are out in the galactic realms now, not here on Earth, are so impressed with those of us who are here now because of the struggles and difficulties and what is shifting and changing during this time. So they're watching and they know how difficult this is. This is not easy. We've chosen an assignment that is so incredibly important. And yet at the same time, our body is shifting and changing, and we have to deal with that. Our emotions are shifting and changing. Our cells are shifting and changing. We have to deal with that. And know that in December, it very likely, now maybe not for everybody, it may depend, but what I'm really getting is, in general, we're going to see a ramping up of all the things we've dealt with in 2019. Kind of like it's all right here now. And it's more frequent. It's stronger. It's more powerful. And that is what we just need to lean into. And reach out to people you know. Spend time talking to them. If it's online, as I've talked before, find your tribe. You can find your tribe, but don't let yourself go down into the rabbit hole. Don't sink in deep, because it's easy to do when you have all of this going on mentally and physically, okay? So reach out to your friends, to your family. Those, and many I know don't understand necessarily, but at least they can comfort you in knowing that you're not feeling well. You don't have to go into all the detail of that, right? But the point being is there are people here who can assist you. You know, you all have a big online community that you can draw from as well. So that is my December energy update. I hope it wasn't all over the map. But I was getting some incoming as I was actually talking, which I didn't really expect. And yet at the same time, they're always kind of just weaving in and out with me. So a lot of what I've said here today, I was just getting anyway. So I hope you've enjoyed this message today, and I wish you well in December. I will likely do probably another energy update as we get closer to the solstice. But otherwise, I'm here to help if you're at all interested in reaching out to me through purplerainhealing.com, where I offer distance energy healing, channeling, and spiritual awakening mentoring, where I channel information for you during your awakening journey to assist you forward. So with that, I hope you'll reach out to me if you're interested. And otherwise, I'm so grateful that you are here watching my videos, and I hope I have helped you today maneuver through the rest of 2019. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.